everybody. Thank you for tuning in to We'll Fix It Team. What's up? Been a few days. We've been really swamped with work, so we haven't had time to do our, in between videos to try to inform people how to fix the vehicles. We do our best. But today you've probably clicked this video because you're driving around in your 2000-ish model Honda Civic and it won't start. It's got a code for crankshaft sensor. I don't know what I'm going to run into. However, I have done some testing already prior to this video just so I can have a little bit of content to throw at you. It's got reference voltage. It's got ground. I'm going to show you real quick how I check that. And I even tried a sensor, but I didn't look at something really close. And something hit me after Something came to me, but we're going to try something though. So let me show you where I'm at right quick. Okay, so right here is our connector off of our crankshaft sensor, which is just directly behind the harmonic balancer. It's a 3-wire plug-in just right on the back side of this. And I'm going to show you a little something here. Let's do some beeps. Okay, so what we got is we show continuity because I don't have the key on yet. Let me show you what's last one. So the wires and the connector seems to be okay because I'm just barely touching it. So let me show you this right quick. 12 volts on one side, high pitch beep. And a ground here, low pitch beep. And then you won't hear anything at all because that's our 5-volt reference, and I'll show you. Let me get my connector off here. Ooh, that's bright. Now we're just using our digital meter. And I'm going to try to do two. Okay, so there's our 12 volt or, battery voltage right there on pin number 1. Middle pin is showing you nothing. That's a ground. And then you've got your 5-volt reference for your signal current on the sensor. Okay. I'm going to pull the harmonic balancer and look at it a little closer. Somebody's been working on this thing and put a timing belt on it. I don't know the story behind it. They didn't give me much information, but let me just check something. All right, so the reluctor ring is on correctly, and the keyway is not sheared. So that's supposedly the keyway is not sheared. We're going to have to look at that a little bit closer because it turns over kind of fast and no fire. And if this thing doesn't correlate, number 1, with the crank camshaft sensor, it'll go to auto shutdown. But I need to look at that real closely and see. Our white dot's not lined up with our keyway. You see the white dot somebody put there. I don't know if that's, I need to check out their timing marks on my book and see. But the pulley was tight on the front. It wasn't loose. So we'll just see what's happening. We're going to check a little bit closer because we've got something going on here. I'm going to tear down a little bit more. We'll see what it is on the creep up. All right, so we've got some good news. I have found the problem. It was connector related. If you remember the beginning of this video just a few seconds ago, we did a probe to see if we had all the necessary components to have a connection. And so in that plug-in, me putting my probe in there, that sounds kind of weird. Putting my probe in the plug-in, it was taking up the space that the connector on the crankshaft sensor wouldn't fill up because there's like it's broken on the inside. I'll show you the plug-in I've got here. 1 second. There it is. So I cut the old plug-in off and I wired up the new one, which I had relatively short leads on. Let me show you what that looks like. Get down here. The sun is beating down inside this stall, so it's got a little bit of a glare. But there's I took this loose. I wanted to be sure everything was right because somebody was in there working. And you can see what I had to do. I had a plug-in off of a junk motor I had to find, and they cut the connector very short. So I soldered this and heat shrinked, gave me some leads to work off of, and I resoldered it in and heat shrinked at the top there. So that's the best we could do. The dealership didn't offer anything for pigtail. I had to hunt that down. So we got that. I have fire on the plugs. I have fire on the injectors now. So what we've got to do is just put it back together and see if it cranks. And we'll see here in just a second. All right. We got this thing back together now. I'm going to see what happens. Is this thing going to start? It was, I didn't pour any oil in the cylinders. I'm going to see if it'll crank. If not, we'll dump some in there. It's because somebody had been already working on this thing prior to me. They've been cranking on it, cranking on it, cranking on it. We'll see how gas wash the cylinders are. So let's go for it. Let me flip the camera around. I don't have the belts on yet because I want to make sure this thing starts and does like it's supposed to. I think it will. It needs new belts anyhow, so they're kind of really bad. There was an oil leak. I fixed the valve cover problem they had with the oil leak while I was in there on the top. So let's see what happens here. Get my behind in here. Yeah. Runs a little weird right now, but it's smoothing out. That's the first start. It's been sitting for a while. I'll show you. Flip there. You can look at the rotor and tell. Yeah. It's got still a little bit of a skip here. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be running as smooth as I like it to be, but it is running now, so that's a good start. Hear that? Sometimes, just to let you know what could be happening, with it skipping like that, it hasn't been started in a while, and it's been, like far as it's been, somebody's been cranking on it, and every time your fuel injector is sprayed, they spray fuel. So there's a chance that there's some carbon that may have gotten oozed down around some of the valves. We're going to listen. Let's see if it'll go away if I throttle into it. See if it picks up, you know, gets the cylinder picks up. Huh. Still a little weird. What this thing needs is a good driving. Maybe let's run this thing up the road real quick. Put the tire on it. So forth. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that. So I drove the Honda. The misfire, you know, stayed. After I came to a stop, it would start to skip misfire and code for cylinder number 1 where it pinpointed. And I checked the compression on that cylinder because it only does it at idle. And as I suspected, it was down just a little bit. It was, you know, 98, 100 on cranking, which is, yeah, you know. So there'll have to be some work done to that. And what we did here is actually get it running. That problem existed prior. I don't think the car is actually somebody's that their son uses. So I don't think he's not, you know, as long as it's kind of running, I don't think he's worried about like making it a really super nice car. But I did a compression test off camera to check that. And the reason why I didn't do a video on that part of it is because I've got those videos that already exist on this channel. You can look and see. So that would be kind of redundant. Anyhow, how it works is we did actually learn a little bit about the meter, back probing stuff, looking at connections and figuring out where reference voltages are. And that kind of applies across the board of a lot of things. Where you have a 3-wire plug-in, where you'll have a ground, a 5-volt reference, and a 12-volt coming off of the, you know, battery voltage, and an ECM reference voltage in the ground. And other things use different aspects of the 3rd wire to actually engage a coil pack. You know, you'll see that whenever some coil packs have 3 wires, some have 2, but most of the time the computer will always flash that ground. They switch on the ground. Just a little FYI when you're checking things. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of however long this video floats around the internet for 3,500 years till the apocalypse. I'm out. Peace out. Bye.